Hello, my lovely audience. So, as you can see, I saw Lazy What Ifers video, and I couldn't help but cringe for the most part. I could not bear to watch it. Um, Now there's a few reasons as to why that is. I've obviously, you see what I'm gonna be doing. What if Deku was a Jedi? Well, it's going to be more of a correct and true to the storyline of Star Wars and how everything is. And listen, if you have something against me or something like at all, like saying, "Oh, you're wrong about that," or "Oh, like that's not what it like he said," or "That's not what our Lord and Savior said," or some shit, I'm gonna tell you this right here. Star Wars, it's not the most simplest thing to understand, but it can be understood. And I'm going to tell you this here. I have been a fan of Star Wars since I was 3. I've been watching Star Wars movies my whole life, dude. I lived in, like, the Disney City celebration until I was, like, 8. So, Star Wars weekend was, like, everything. I actually have a few things I could show you that could be proof to that, actually. I have a helmet or something that has like all the autographs of the of some like major roles, people that were in the Star Wars movies and all that. It's really awesome. Probably could sell that for like a shit ton of money though. I would never do that though. I collect it. It's one of my most prized possessions ever. Anywho, let's get to the topic at hand. So, first off, a lot of people get this wrong. People say lightsabers are like the most coolest, the most amazing thing ever. People think the Force is like, can be like, oh, it's like a level up system. Oh, it's like this. Oh, you have to meditate in order to be good. Oh, you have to do this. No, really, you really don't. Let me put it this way. How a Jedi works is it's based off their color. So if a Jedi has a blue lightsaber, like the one you see in the picture, then that Jedi is going to be good with like lightsaber combat. It's a combat kind of thing. That's what that means. If it's green, they're going to be more force sensitive, which means they can do stuff that's more to the force side. Now, here's the thing. The force, it's not something that you can be like, "Oh, I can just easily obtain it. Easy." No. You don't just have powerful force. Well, you don't just get powerful force more and more. It's not really that easily done if you think about it. Like it doesn't really happen like that. Like yes, you mature and your power grows strong with the force, but it doesn't work how you think it does. The force isn't something that just is like a video game where you get more XP and you get more powerful. It's more like whatever level of power you have as a kid, that power will grow. So, how do I explain it? Like, you ever seen, like, young Anakin? He wasn't bursting like a balloon ready to explode with the Force. That's not how it works. It's like, Magi from, I think Magi, yeah. And the flow or clo or whatever they freaking call it, is like the Force. Basically, that's pretty much what it's like. And yeah, I have a bunch of books here. I could pretty much go read about it. Here, hold on. I have a bunch of stuff here. Ah, shit. Let's see. Man, I never thought I'd actually be pulling this thing out. Alright, so let's see, where should we go? We got all I got this huge book here that's all about Star Wars younglings and all that and the Jedi path. So yeah, okay. We got here is all kinds of stuff on how this whole world works with the Jedi. Honestly, I'm gonna tell you this right here. Star Wars is an amazing thing. I'll go to the Jedi Code, in fact. This will help out a lot. Oop, crap. Almost dropped the book. Don't really have a steady hand on this thing. Which I should probably have, but like, is not the most easiest thing to hold with one hand. There we go. Jedi Code. It's more, well, I think we all know what the Jedi Code is. Don't hurt others, be basically a monk. But, yeah, the Jedi path is something that's, like, an interesting thing. Like, we can always talk about how the Jedi path is messed up. Because, here's the thing, Jedis, the original way how the Sith came about wasn't exactly by them becoming bad. Like, whatever you hear about, like, oh, the Sith became bad because they made a deal with something or some shit. No, it's not like that at all. It's, they became bad because it was like a Black Ops unit for the Jedi path. Like, a Jedi, the early stages of Jedi Grandmasters, they formed a group called the Sith. And that's what basically, they created something that's bad and they were trying to experiment with it. Like, let's be honest, we're all humans, we all understand this. We can all understand that people want to experiment with something powerful once they get their hands on it. So you can't blame them, really, because it's nature. It's like every single living being wants to be powerful. We all grow for power. And if you don't grow for power, you grow for something. Now, I'm going to explain something here. I really hate people that mess this up, because I grew up in a school where you mess up Star Wars, you mess up everything. But yeah, we were really religious Star Wars kids. Anywho, let's get to the what if, actually, because, oh boy, am I a master at this. So, Deku, he's going to be an interesting kid. So, seeing how Star Wars, the whole universe, happened a long, long, long time ago, I'm going to say, like, there is some teachings of Jedis and all that, and I'm going to say Deku's father was one of the last Jedis. Like, he was one of the last Jedis that were, pretty much almost around. There's, like, only, like, a few Jedis, but they're basically just monks nowadays. And they don't really do anything. The Sith are basically mostly villains that are in big organizations, and they kind of like hide their power and just gather information and experiment on people. So yeah, they get like doctors and stuff like that. It's pretty much mostly where the Sith are. They kind of like experiment on people with quirks because they kind of want to know how this works. It's still a mystery to mostly everyone. Like, you know, the Quirk Doctor? He's a Sith. And I'm going to say, when he can feel the Force flow with everyone. So I'm going to say Deku, when he's, like, young, I'm going to say his dad's still in the picture, somewhat. I'm going to say his dad is, like, not much of a going out kind of guy. Like, he stays in his room, writes. And I would say Deku knows what he's writing. Like, he can speak what he's writing. And this is, like, really ancient language, so yeah, Deku, like, knows about the ancient language. And if you're asking what happened to the starships and all that, well, the fuel became expensive and that just pretty much died out. So there's no space travel anymore, really. Unless you can harness something that's equal to a kyber crystal, because kyber crystals were mined out of extinction. And there's, like, only, like, a few kyber crystals left in the world. There's, like, only a few kyber crystals in the whole galaxy. But yeah, kyber crystals are pretty much gone. And the people that have kyber crystals are, like, Jedis, though. So, like, stuff, like, some people will have, like, staffs that are built over a lightsaber, and that's kind of how it works. So Deku, he's like force sensitive, just not as much. And I'm gonna make it that Deku, he's to make things interesting, he is a anomaly when it comes down to the force. He's not like Anakin where he's super force sensitive. In fact, he has barely any force at all. He has barely any of the force even goes near him. And the reason for that is because Deku has a unique ability. He when he absorbs in the force, no, we're not gonna do that. We're not gonna make him a Sith. We're gonna make him a Jedi. We have to make him a Jedi because this is the only way we can make it fun. So I'm gonna say a villain attack happens, right? And I would say Deku knows a little bit about the Force. Like he knows that it's a an energy around him, and that he can he meditates around it. He is able to feel it because he's got like an ancient bloodline going through his veins. I'm gonna say that Deku, he's like one of the most interesting people because I'm gonna give him something like the Avatar. I'm gonna give him an ability that allows him to talk to the dead, and that's gonna be interesting. Like most Jedi's, they already can go out of their body. It's like an ancient, new kind of ancient technique, I would say, that allows them to go out of their body and explore the galaxy. So Deku, he doesn't know how to do this, but his dad does. And I'm gonna say, while this villain attack is happening, the villain attack is a Sith Lord. It's just that there's other villains with him, and they're causing all the destruction, getting all the heroes near them, and it's like a whole big distraction. I'm gonna make it that this when Deku's 10, and it's All For One that's doing this. So All Might comes in. This is how All Might gets injured, and we're gonna have a little fun here. So Deku also gets injured on this day, and I'm gonna say Deku, he doesn't just get badly injured; he gets messed up injured, as in there's a the lightsaber, or better yet, Force lightning. Basically was shot out by the Quirk Doctor at Deku's father, but Deku's father deflected it, and it went over to Deku's eyes, and it just singed them pretty much. Let's see here, there we go. Basically like that. They just completely burned them, and by the end of it, after I would say 6 months of being unconscious, he recovers and he finds out his father died by the Quirk Doctor's hands, and Deku was left with these eyes. Now, I don't think anyone bullied him because, before this, yeah, people bullied him, but I don't think after this, I think losing your dad and having no quirk and being completely blinded by a villain, I would say that this is something that a lot of people look at Deku and they're like, we gotta become heroes to help him. We gotta become heroes to prevent this. This is too messed up. And I would say a lot more kids would be going to UA. I would say the whole entire school is going to UA. The girls, everyone. And Bakugo is more determined. He's not, he feels bad for Deku because he can only imagine what he's going through, and he doesn't blame him. He can't blame anyone here but the villain. And Deku, he's crying every day. He barely goes to school because he's crying for his dad. But he does remember one thing. He remembers his dad wanted him to meditate a lot. And I'm going to say Deku is extremely force sensitive after this incident because he learns how to see again. And what I mean by that is he learns how to use the Force like Canon Joris or something, I can't remember, sorry, does in Star Wars Rebels. And he is able to use that completely. he starts getting up without using the cane and just starts walking around like he owns the place. Eyes are closed, completely almost terrifying. Like when his mother sees him, she thinks first, wait, he's not supposed to be up. And how is he doing this? Um, Now I would say she doesn't know anything about the Force thing because that's like a secret between Deku and all that. But she like found out about some kind of laser sword. That's what she calls it. When well, no, I don't think she saw that battle. I think she was looking for them, and they're like Deku was out with his dad. But yeah, so Deku, he's like using the Force to try and heal himself. He's meditating constantly. And I would say it is a very slow process, but he's able to get the bandages off. And this is what he's left with, these eyes. Mind you, he's had these bandages on for a while, and because they were really bad scars. They were singed. They were like completely just fried eyes almost. Like his eyes are still there. It's just these part is not there. It's just completely white. Anywho, yeah. So Deku's eyes are completely white, and he's just walking around. And what ends up happening is Deku, he stumbles upon his dad's stuff, and they're like scriptures and stuff like that. And Nika was gonna throw them out because she doesn't want to be remembered by all this, but Deku, he grabs every single last one of them and he takes them into his room. He keeps all of his dad's belongings in his room. All that All Might stuff, gone. Now his dad's stuff. And Deku, he notices something different. The scriptures, when he's using the Force to see, he can still see the letters, but he can feel something because he studied Braille. So he feels something, and they're the words of the scriptures just hidden. And there's secret techniques about how to do certain things, like a force push, how to get out of blindness, and also how to cure yourself of some things. Like if you're strong enough, you could be able to heal your body. Deku, however, he's like learning about how he can. It's like an ancient technique, like very ancient. Like the first Jedi's used this to imbue their basically concentrate their Force energy into a weapon. And this is like what they used before lightsabers. Because there were wars before lightsabers were created, and this is what they used. Force embedded weapons. And these were like just metallic weapons, really. Like katanas, stuff like that. So I would say Deku, he wants to learn how to fight. And at this point, he's basically like Daredevil, really. He's learning how to fight, and people take it easy on him because they don't want to hurt a blind kid. But Deku beats every single one of them. Like, he can see, actually. Like, better than that. He can sense and see everything around him. And some of them are thinking he's got to have a quirk. But he doesn't. And people test this. He doesn't. I'm going to say for 2 years of his life, he's living as a fighter. He's learned fighting styles. And even some through the scriptures and all that. And I would say he didn't really want this lifestyle, but he got it. I'm going to say after like several swords classmanships, he's got a really good handle on swordsmanship. He's studied the katana, and he's really good with it. He's able to use a katana elegantly. But he's also focused on like saber techniques and stuff like that. Fencing, really. And he's pretty much just focused on a lot of stuff like that, and it's just what it is. And yeah, it's beautiful, really. he's moving elegantly, he's moving quickly. And kids, they did worry about him because he was a blind kid who was going in the world of fighting. I think Bakugo would worry as well because this ain't the same Bakugo. Like, this kid lost his father. You can't be a dick to that guy. You can't. And I think with Deku, how he is, like, you can't just do that. Like, he was broken that day happened. And I would say when Deku comes back, which is when I would say he's like 13, I would say that he's like 12 or 13. He's changed. He's more like canon in this pick. He's really just different, brighter, really, like more like how he was then. And I would say he's mastered every single thing about the scriptures. He has mastered every single thing, and he has actually written down his own. He's been going from his father's research. And I would say that Deku, he makes his own katana. And he imbues some of his force energy in it to make it somewhat move with him. And Deku, he can use the force, like, very well. Like, he can make stuff float, he can control stuff, he can throw his sword and have it come back to him. He can basically say, these are not the toys you are looking for, and pretty much mind trick them. Deku can even he can even do this. He can even if he that's a good word. He can force pull, I would say, because it's not that hard. And I'd say that Deku, he can even use the force to kind of like shield him. He can use force heal. And I would say, besides all that, Deku can use... You know what? I'm going to say he's going to be using an interesting lightsaber. Because I'm going to say his dad... his grandfather, his greatest of great, yeah, you know what I'm all about. Anyways, in the Star Wars time, one of his grandfathers, his ancestors really, were a sentinel, a temple guard to be exact, and he escaped. So he has an older version of the temple guard lightsaber in like very well condition. And he holds it and he has like a symbol, like symbolic to it. Like he belongs to it. And I'd say Deku meditates a lot, alright? He meditates more than he should. And if you want to think about it, he is more of a blue lightsaber in this. Like, I know some of you are really thinking, okay, how is he a blue lightsaber? Well, think of it like this. Anakin was a blue lightsaber and he was really force sensitive. And the only reason why he was a blue lightsaber was because he focused on fighting more than rather using the force. So there's that. And I'd say he's like more of a tactical person, Deku. He doesn't just rush in. So I'd say when everybody's raised their hand to go to UA, Deku raises his hand as well, and everybody looks at him. They're just like, why? Why would you do this? They even say to him, why would you do this? We're trying to do this for you. We don't want you to get hurt. And the girls are like, they feel bad. They feel like this is something we can't do. And Bakugo, I would say, steps up. I know a lot of people don't like Bakugo, but let's put it this way. He believes in what he wants to believe in, and I respect that. Now, Bakugo, he says, let him go. He'll need to learn the hard way that things aren't as easy as they come. Plus, he's been fighting for a long time. He probably picked up a few tricks. And they know that there are blind people out there that can like click their tongue and they can like see a tree, like Daredevil stuff. And there's been reports of that, so it's very possible. So they think maybe it's something like that. And they never see Deku click his tongue or anything like that. They never see that. They just see him walk around and just not bump into anyone. He moves so elegantly. He's able to pass by people without even being seen sometimes. He's using the Force in his daily life every day, which makes him very skilled. And if you think about it, it's kind of peaceful and beautiful. This type of video I never thought I'd be doing because I never thought I'd be doing it now, I would say, because this kind of thing is it's a really hard thing to explain. Now, I hope I've explained it as much as I could, but yeah, Deku, he's one with the Force. He's able to move with it. And that's kind of how it is. It's a living energy. And Deku, he feels his father around him sometimes. He has spoken to him inside of his dreams. He has talked to him, and his dad's proud of him in every sort of way. He's proud that he actually has, in some ways, surpassed him a little, but also able to come this far at his young age. And he dubs him a knight of the Jedi Order, which what is left of it at least. And he is taken up as a scholar, or what he is going to soon be as a hero, but it doesn't matter because he'll be a scholar, and with this hero agency, he's going to basically try and build another Jedi Order, is what his father suggests and what Deku actually would like. He's going to build another Jedi Order. So people that are, they're going to try and build the community back up. Bring the Force back to this world. And what ends up happening is, I'm going to say, Deku, on the time, when he goes to the Sledge Zone, when he's walking home, the Sledge Zone comes out, and he sees it's a blind kid. He's like, oh, this is going to be easy. And Deku lifts up his hand, and instantly, the Sledge Zone is pushed away completely. And, no, he's not force pushed. Deku waves his hand saying, you will return to where you have come from. Now, better yet, you will go to the authorities and turn yourself in. You do not want to take me. You do not want to mess with me. And the Sledge Zone repeats and turns himself in. Deku continues walking and then he feels All Might pass by. And encounters the Sledge Zone, who turns himself in. And that was pretty much the most impressive thing that has ever been done. And I'm going to say Deku, he walked home. And for the 10 months of training, he's not going to get one for all because it's pointless. Deku, he's worked out a lot. He's quite worked out. He's really good at a lot of things. He's got pretty much a 6-pack, all right? And I'm going to say Deku, he's extremely strong for a kid his age. Like, yes, he uses the Force, and the Force ain't a quirk, alright? Like Lazy would have said, but you can't really feel this stuff unless you're Force sensitive. So, yeah. Deku, when he gets CUA, he does the written exam, and they want him to do a Braille one, and he does do a Braille one, but he aces it completely faster than anyone else. And he gets the first in it. And then comes the practical exam. Now, everyone is even some people from his school are looking at him, they're like, hey, this is going to be bad, I don't see him actually winning. And they see Deku wearing a mask, like Canon Juris did, back in when he got his eyes blinded the first time, that nice black mask that he had over his eyes. And I'm gonna say it's like a type of mask that kind of just, it's like cold compression, really. That's what it is. That's all it is. It's just to like relax his eyes, really, because he's just trying to relax. He's trying to live peacefully, and he's never really had to deal with any Sith problems because he's always tried to stay focused. He's always tried to stay balanced. He's at this time he's like Qui-Gon Jinn, really. He's basically Qui-Gon Jinn level. And that's one of my favorite Star Wars characters. I love Qui-Gon Jinn. That's my favorite Star Wars character in total. Like, if I could ever meet a Star Wars character, like, if Star Wars real, like, if I was transported into that world, I would want to meet Qui-Gon Jinn, not because of, like, he's a Jedi and he's, like, an interesting guy, he's one of the cool guys, but he's the most wisest out of them all. And that's what I love about him. He is the most wisest and actually has a brain for a Jedi, really. And yeah. So next is practical exam, so let's get to it. So when it starts, Deku, he just walks out there and he picks up rebar. It's a bar of rebar that was broken off. And Deku, he just throws it. And then as he throws it, he's sensing it go through, but he did imbue some of his force energy into it a little bit. And he threw it just so he can, like, see where it's going, kind of like by the weapon's eyes. Actually, no. He just throws it. Doesn't even imbue energy in it, because that's unrealistic. Anyhow, he throws it, and you just see this rebar go through several robots at very high speeds. And Deku, he's just moving his finger through the air. And everybody just looks at him like, what is he doing? And a robot tries to crush Deku, but Deku, he just waves his hand at the robot, and the robot just goes flying in the air. And the teachers see this, and then they think, wait, is he doing that with the rebar? And then they think, let's give him the points. Because they don't know how to explain it. There's no psychic quirks no telekinesis quirks in this batch. So they think he's probably got some type of telekinesis quirk. And everybody's realizing from his class that we didn't even have to come. Apparently Deku was holding out on us. And it's something that was pretty amazing, because Deku, he destroys a bunch of robots, and then he feels a disturbance. He senses a woman trapped, and it's a rocket. Now, he never tripped because he's really peaceful. He's really calm and one with himself. And I'm going to say he goes over to where Rocket is, and he instantly just lifts the rubble up just so she can get out, to not really raise any suspicion. Like, he's already raised a lot. But he lifts it up enough and pulls her out. And then, for the robot, he simply just jumps at it and punches it in the face. And he punches it in the face, and using the force to kind of like create a boundary with his fist and also to push off on it, he does so. And it instantly drops. Like, it falls to the ground. It's not destroyed, but it's badly damaged. And Deku, he drops to the ground, and he uses the force to kind of like force push to the ground to like take off some of the fall damage, or even any of that, G-force, or whatever you want to call it. And everybody's amazed by this. They ask him what's his quirk, and Deku says that I'm not gonna say he says he's quirkless. I'm gonna say that he says he has and a unique ability that he doesn't really fully understand. And I'm gonna say a lot of Sith Lords, they have recognized Deku, they have seen him. They don't really think anything of it though. Because feeling your way around is one thing. But actually force sensing other Sith is another thing. And Deku has force sensed them. He's noticed them. But he doesn't really mind them because they're not taking action against him. He is vengeful for the one that killed his father, but that's it. So Deku, he's kind of at one with himself, and he gets a pretty good high score, I would say first place. And Bakugo's in second, and Todoroki's in third. And Bakugo is amazed that Deku got first, and is just thinking, how does he do this? How is he first? And after hearing about the rumors that he has a quirk that he doesn't even fully understand, I would say on the first day of school, after being accepted, Deku, he gets confronted by Bakugo, who asks him, "What's your quirk?" And Deku says, "I don't know. It just came to me when I was, once I got blinded. It started out as just me being able to move around, easily, by just knowing where I'm going, to other stuff like pushing people away or pulling them forwards or even controlling things. Or using a type of trick on their mind or something." And Bakugo's just amazed by this. He doesn't know what to say, really. Because he thinks that he's trying to think that people that are quirkless, you take one sense away from them, they can become quirked. So he's starting to think well, I guess not. There's no such thing as quirkless, now that I think about it. When that's not the case at all. There are some quirkless, just not all the quirkless are force sensitive. You know what I mean. If I said that wrong, I'm tired. Sorry, I'm just really exhausted. That's probably why I sound so calm. But yeah, Deku, he's really calm about himself. He feels good. He feels relaxed. He feels at ease. He feels just with himself. And that's a good feeling. Even talking about this just makes me feel calm. This field makes me feel good. This makes me actually feel quite amazing, actually. I'm actually impressed by this. It's better than what I've been feeling all week, really. Well, all month. But anyhow, let's get back to it. So, yeah, Deku, he's pretty much impressed everyone. And I'd say he still has this black mask on. That's for ice compression-wise. And I'm going to say that Deku, he is... when he gets into class, he's kind of weird. Everybody feels a weird presence around them. It's not bloodlust or anything. More like they feel a weird comfort when they're near him. So a lot of girls go near him, and they just feel comfortable. They're feeling a warmth around them. And that's Deku just releasing some of his force energy just to relax. And that's him just how he sees. He uses the force to see. And he sees everyone down to the last inch. And he knows what some of their quirks are. He can get an idea. He even can probably see some of their faces just as black and white for him. And I would say he even senses Aizawa. And I say he would stay silent the entire class. And when someone would talk to him, he would say, "The teacher's here, go back and sit down." And they'd be like, "What?" And Bakugo would pretty much listen. He would put his feet down and everything. He wouldn't be even doing any of that, actually. And I would say Bakugo and Deku are the only people that pass through the class. Now, I'm going to say because of this whole incident that happened, Minyeta doesn't get into Class 1A. I'd say Kendo does instead. Because Minyeta would have a lot of competition. And that's something I don't think a lot of people would be able to handle. So, yeah, Kendo gets in because reasons. And who's going to be in her place? Well, that's going to be Minyeta. So, good luck, Class 1B. So, let's go to, Class 1A. So, Aizawa, he steps up and he yawns. He feels exhausted. But he notices that there's two people that just weird him out the most. Deku and Bakugo. Because Bakugo's quiet like Deku. And Bakugo's just kind of like watching Deku, trying to take Deku's word for it, and so far he's right. Bakugo is amazed, and he's kind of like, wow, he's actually got some kind of like sensory ability. And he's thinking it's some kind of like brain thing, some kind of like a mental psychic thing. And basically what ends up happening is Aizawa has them do the whole exam thing. And Deku, he's really strong. When he takes off his clothes and puts them on, I'd say Bakugo does help him because he just doesn't feel like it's a good thing to just have him change on his own because he is blind. And I'd say Ida is a little shocked that Deku is actually blind. And I think everyone would be, because they're just amazed that a blind kid can enter UA with the highest score. And they're just amazed by this. So, yeah. Deku, he's really strong with the Force. He's pretty much amazing at this point. He's really amazing. So, throughout the whole test, he is using the Force just without many people realizing it. When it's the race, he uses the Force. And he moves past Ida just by a second. And just by an inch, pretty much. Well, not an inch, I would say. More like a 6 inches. Or 9 inches, actually. Yeah, 9 inches. And gets in first. Strength-wise, he nails it. Jumping long jump-wise, Deku nails it completely. And I'd say a lot of people are just amazed by this. And strength, he aces it completely. And he's not using the Force most of the time. He's using the Force on the jump. The running he does with his own skill and the Force. But the strength was all on his own. And a little bit of the Force. Very little. And I would say pretty much the ball throw. Deku, he kind of sits. He does the Jedi meditation with it. And instantly, he kind of just, everybody just sees the ball float upwards and then go up and keep going up and 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 all the way up. Until, Aizawa just says, okay, I think we get it. You can do this forever. And then Deku has it drop back down. But very slowly and elegantly. Excuse me. Yawning. Fun. So, yeah, Deku is extremely amazing. And I would say that he nailed it. He really did nail it. So, yeah, he did amazing. He did perfect. He did better than most. Better than everyone else, I would say.
Like, everyone passes, I would say, because we can't kick Kendo, because I love her. She's awesome. Love that woman. God, who doesn't love a woman that can fight? Like, come on. If you had a woman, like, if, like my relationship-wise, if I ever had a relationship, it'd be like Batman and Catwoman. That's kind of how I would have a relationship. Batman and Catwoman. That's kind of like how my relationship would be. She steals my heart, and I believe in justice and a good system. While she's more of a bad girl. Yes, I like bad girls. Okay, hush. Yeah. Anywho. So let's get back to the whole thing and not about me. Because I hate talking about me. Well, sometimes. Anywho. Deku, he is, like, for the hero versus villains, I'd say he's paired up with Bakugo. Because the two seem to get along. Now, I would say who's on Ida's team is Araka. And this makes it a deadly combination. Because I'm going to say Deku, his hero suit is a... Let's see if I can find it. It is not that. It's more like a temple guard. Yeah, there we go. He's got a temple guard's outfit. And he's got this katana with it. Don't mind the lightsaber. He's got a straight up katana. And I would say that people are just weirded out by the mask. They don't get it. And he says it's something that was a part of his ancestors' tradition. One of his ancestors' tradition. And they were like, okay, whatever. So, what ends up happening is this. Deku, he uses the katana, and this katana is like very well made. It's like it's a pristine, sharp cut, beautiful weapon. It's sturdy, it's perfect, it's perfect in every way. So Deku, he takes out the katana and he destroys it. Because he believes that he should make it himself. So there's an R&D thing that's going to happen later. And I'm going to cover that in this video. So, Deku, he lets Bakugo go first because he wants to get an idea of what's happening. So, yeah. And Deku, he knows where the bomb is already. So, what he does is he does something weird. He force jumps up and onto the window. And what he does is he force pushes his way in and kicks his way through the glass. And I would say Bakugo barges in as well. I would say he flies up too, using his explosions. And they'd go for Deku, but Deku just dodges. And Bakugo just takes them down. Well, tries to take down Ida, but Ida gets smacked by Araka, who then Ida just launches himself into Baku, taking Bakugo out. Kicking him in the stomach completely, just knocking him out and leaving him in agony. And Deku, he's left with Araka and Ida. And what Deku does is he simply, he puts out his hand and he has the bomb hover towards him. And instantly, the All Might stops the whole thing and says, "Heroes win." Everybody looks and turns to the bomb where it is hovering. Deku is holding out his hand. He is hovering the entire thing. They are just amazed by this. They are seeing that Deku has not just potential as a hero, but potential in general. He has strength that is pretty much unmatched almost. Yeah, that's the crisis thing. Never mind. Well, yeah, I keep those videos around, alright? In case it ever gets taken down or something. Anyhow, yeah, Deku, he is got the Temple Guard garbs, and I would say they're not made by UA at all. I'd say that he has some. He has the guards uniform because it's like ancient and it's like a unique outfit. It's a very pristine outfit though. It's been kept in a special case by his father. And it's basically the family's heirloom outfit. And Deku wears it because he has permission to wear it. It is time that action is taken and Deku creates a temple for Jedi. Anywho, let us get to the fun part now. Time for the USJ. And Deku, he's had time to make his weapon. He's made it perfectly. And I'm going to say it's basically this lightsaber. He has made a Temple Guard lightsaber. I knew I was going to give him a katana, but like, come on. It's a lightsaber. I can't resist. So yeah, he gets this lightsaber. And it is more, it doesn't have these green lights. It doesn't have that little button there. It's more smoother. It's more of a really interesting kind of like lightsaber. It's more unique, really. It's more golden, more stylish, and whoopsies, you saw my clothes and everything. Yes, I saw this. It was a beautiful picture. Anyways, yes. I'm probably gonna get taken down because of copyright reasons, but anyway. Yes, so Deku is going to be the Temple Guard, really. So, yeah, please don't hate me because I have that pictures, alright? Anywho, yeah, Deku, he is, yeah, he's, what is it? Yeah, he's got the lightsaber, and I would say Bakugo asks about it, because no one goes near Deku and Bakugo, because they know Deku is, like, a really quiet and kind of, like, Sasuke-like kind of character. And Bakugo's kind of like, almost like a raging, angry, exploding head kind of guy. So they don't go near him, because they're both very dangerous kind of people. And I would say Todoroki's, like, really cold at this point. He's, like, much colder than he was before, but also more quieter, and he doesn't really have to deal with anything. Anyhow, continuing onwards. Deku, he, when they get to the USJ, Deku's lightsaber, it is not that strong, okay? It is... He can make it that he can stun people with it, alright? And I'm going to say that Deku, this Temple Guard outfit has something has a meaning to it. He's able to speak to other Temple Guards, and that's how he was able to become a Jedi Knight at a young age like him. And that's something that's pretty impressive, if you ask me. Jesus. Like, so tired. Anyhow, let's continue again. So Deku, he's ready for this. He's gonna got like a stun lightsaber, and the Kyber crystal in it is kind of like a trainee's lightsaber. It's just more of a type of stun that. Okay, like. Yeah, okay, you know what, just screw it. It is a lightsaber that can cut through stuff, alright? But, yeah, he is very careful with it. It is a type of lightsaber that has special kyber crystals that are, I would say, an heirloom, in a sense. They're very, very rare kyber crystals. Golden, in fact. So... Yeah, they're like the only few kyber crystals that are around. So Deku, he's like, he feels a presence. He tells Bakugo that something's up beyond guard. And that's when the villains come in. And when the villains come in, they realize, oh crap, the villains are here, oh no. But Deku and Bakugo, they quickly hide because Deku tells him to hide, and they're hiding together. And Bakugo sees Deku's lightsaber for one of the first times, and he's kind of like just weirded out by how it looks. And when he's about to touch it, Deku says, "Don't touch it unless you want to lose a hand." You know what I did there. Come on. You know what I did there. Come on. You know it's funny. Yeah, come on. Come on. Yeah, okay. If you don't get it, it's Luke Skywalker. All right. Anywho, yeah. So, yeah, Deku is. Yeah, he basically just does this. He sneakily goes down there, and he tells Bakugo to go and help Aizawa. I'm going to go take on that big thing. And he says it's not human, so it should be fine if I use this. And Deku pulls out his lightsaber. And he ignites it. And that's when Shigaraki just looks at Deku, who looks weird, like beyond weird. And he's like, go get him. And a bunch of villains go after Deku, but Deku, he just uses his hand and pushes all those villains away. And instantly, Shigaraki knows this power, because he's seen the Quirk Doctor before. He's seen what he can do. Alright? And he knows that it's a Sith kind of thing. Like, it's a type of special order thing. And he realizes that he's a Jedi. So he quickly has the Nobu go after him. And this is the thing. He doesn't know that there's such a thing as a temple guard. He doesn't know anything about them. They're ancient history. Like, way too ancient. And Deku, what he does is he cuts off the Nomu's arm that's about to punch him. And then he cuts off the legs. And then he cuts off the head. And then Deku comes at him, extending his arm with the lightsaber, and then says, stop resisting and turn yourself in. Shigaraki then has Kurogiri teleport them both out of there, because the Nobu just got killed instantly. And I'm going to say that the Nomu, it's in pretty good condition considering it's cut up like crazy. And the villains, they see this. They see Deku with this sword that is just broken. And they don't go near him because they know this thing is going to kill them. So they get away from Deku. They're like, it's another hero. What do we do? And then Deku says, stand down and you won't be hurt. And then they all surrender because they don't want to go against someone that's got a laser sword. I know I'm mocking it, but come on. I want to have fun, alright? I know it's a lightsaber. Chill out. I like having fun saying it's a laser sword. I can't get over the fact that Luke said that, alright? I know it's been a while since that movie came out, but still. Laser swords. Oh, I love it. Oh, fuck me. Oh, man. I am so tired. Anywho. Yeah, Deku is pretty much a bona fide Jedi. So now it's time for the sports festival. I know I'm covering a lot in this video, more than I usually do. And I think you guys should enjoy that, because I don't normally do this. It was only because I felt I should. And I'm going to tell you this here. I am going to be doing a new magic one. I'm going to take down the dark side one real quick. I'm just going to say that to you guys because I am going to replace that series with something a little bit better and a little bit more overpowered.
But yeah, I'm going to be doing a different series, and I might do another Magic series or a few other ones, really. And I'm just going to be doing a bunch of other series that I think you guys would enjoy. Dark Side's way too complicated, apparently. Um, I could do Doomsday if you guys want. Or Doomed from that comic book series. If you guys don't know Doomed, I suggest looking it up. It was a great comic book. Alrighty, now let's get into the sports festival. So Deku, he's gonna be wearing that special mask again. And where can I find this fish? There it is. So there's that pretty boy's face. Alrighty. So yeah, Deku is going to be. He's gonna go with that whole black mask that he had that covered up to like his like right up to here. I would say that's pretty much what it covered up to. It covered up like that much. We all know it's what I'm all about. So yeah, and Deku, he doesn't have his lightsaber too. Like, yes, it is a family heirloom, but he didn't really make it, so he can't bring it. But I will say yeah, he doesn't bring any of that. So yeah, he's at the sports festival, and he is just waiting. He's waiting for it to happen. He doesn't. He's not the representative. It's Bakugo again. But Bakugo doesn't say I will win. He says instead, because he knows he will lose, he says, I'm not going to be the one that wins. Izuku Midoriya will be the one that wins. And that takes a lot of people by surprise, because they would think a guy like him would say he would win, but no, some kid that they don't know of would win, like the time of the representative would win. And I think Class 1A would be like, yeah, he would. He would win, definitely. So, yeah. Now it's time for the fun to happen. Time for the whole entire race to the back to the Coliseum or whatever you want to call it. And Deku, he pretty much just runs like really fast towards the stadium, and he jumps like incredibly far over some of the jumps that you would have to take, and he's just jumping incredibly fast, and he's dodging away from the robots and kind of just like force pushing his way through. And when he gets to the mines, he just lifts them all up into the air. And better yet, not even just that, he just jumps over them and then force pushes his way up and kind of shields himself with the force to have the blast push him up, like kind of like how he did in the anime. Just not. So yeah, he goes all the way back to the stadium, and what ends up happening is Deku, he gets back and instantly pretty much everybody's praising him. He's like, they're like, wow, that's so amazing. What did he do? They have no clue what he did. Jesus Christ, I'm sitting down. I'm still getting yawns right now. Anyhow, I feel like Mr. Sandman's hanging with just sand right now. Jesus. Talk about Mr. Sandman, right? Just sand in my face, sand in my face. Oh, God, talk about nightmare. So, yeah. Deku gets done with that part, and then comes the cavalry. So I'm going to say Bakugo is on his team, and that equals up their points. And I would say because Ida and Araka are, like, intrigued by his ability, they join as well. And Deku, he's on top. And they kind of like, they know that he's going to be perfect because not everyone's expecting a blind kid to be able to do this. And I would say Deku, he takes off the mask, revealing he's blind. And I'd say President Mike would be like, whoa, he's blind, look at that. And everybody's like, wait, what? He's been blind the whole time? How is he doing this? And I'd say a few heroes recognize him because they fought him in a few gyms before, like by a bet or something, saying he was like an expert fighter for 2 or 3 years, and he did like some crazy stuff. Man, I'm exhausted. After this video, I'm going to bed. Yeah. So, yeah, Deku, yeah, I'm still recording. Alright, awesome. So, yeah, Deku, he goes to bed and goes to sleep. I'm joking. No. He puts his mask back on because he knew that was the result he was going to get. And if you're wondering who's on each side, I would say Uraka is in the back-ish and, well, supporting the left and helping out with the right. And I'm going to say, yeah, Ida's in the front. So, yeah. There's that. Anyways, Deku's on top. And what ends up happening is when pretty much a bunch of kids go after him, like Class 1B, and no one in Class 1A just goes for him because they know what Deku's capable of. When Class 1B, a bunch of students go for him, Deku just lifts his hands up. No, he doesn't even lift his hands up. He just kind of just meditates. And the teams, they're like, come on. And they realize they're slowly going up. And slowly going up and going up and going up. Shinzo, he's not being affected because he's not going after Deku. So, yeah. Most of the people are pretty much getting already taken out. Mineta's been taken out. Oh crap, in the Crytek one, I never talked about how Shoji got taken out. Well, Shoji got sneak attacked. So, I'm just going to say that. Alright, anyway, yeah, sorry I had to tell you this and that in this part for another completely different video. I'm sorry. But yeah, I'm tired and I think I forgot that really badly. I'm so sorry, guys. Anywho. Time for Deku with the Force sensitivity and the Jedi and all that. Alrighty. So, yeah, that's pretty much what happens to the cavalry. No one really gets disqualified because he puts them back down and lets them pass, really. Except a few people because he wants to make it that hard. I'd say a lot of people actually get taken down. And it's the same thing in the anime with the 1v1. And Deku has to fight Shinzo. So he doesn't get a warning this time, but he knows what his quirk is. So what ends up happening is this. Shinzo is like, I bet you had a lot of hard time dealing with that quirk there. You probably would have gotten told that you were a villain. And Deku, he just says this. You will leave this arena. And then Shinzo just walks out of the arena. And then he gets kind of like just breaks free from it, like, wait, what just happened? And then Deku says this to Shinzo. I was blinded. That's how I found out I had a quirk. When I was blinded by a person who shot electricity from their fingertips, I was then given a quirk that I had no clue I had no information about. There was no way of telling what it was. People said I was quirkless still, but still, I believe it is a quirk. That I'm just a weird anomaly among people. And that makes people get interested. They kind of like want to do a few tests on Deku. But ultimately, they did decide that he was probably quirked because they can't really figure out why he has this ability. So, that's Shinso. Now next is Todoroki. Now, Todoroki, he uses ice to encase Deku. And because he doesn't want to, have him get trapped or whatever in ice. So he encases him all around him. So, Deku, doing the most amazing thing he does, meditates. And what do you think happens? Todoroki gets lifted up in the air, and he tries to freeze his way out or find some kind of hand that's lifting him up or something, but then the ice around Deku cracks. It breaks. And all the shards are just circling around Todoroki, who then says, I surrender, I surrender, I surrender, because he knows what was going to happen next. He didn't want to feel any of it, because he knew he lost that moment. And, yeah. He then tells Deku tells Todoroki that it's your fire, next time use it properly. And use it, because ice isn't going to work on me. But I'm going to say, because we want to have an epic battle, Todoroki is told to fight him again, because this is, too much. So they tell him, you can't use that ability, it's too powerful in first place. So Deku can't use the ability, so Todoroki uses his fire for once. And I'm going to say Deku, he's taking the flames head on. He holds his hand out and the flames are just diverging away from him. He walks forward and says, these aren't flames, they're basically just sparks to me. What you're shooting at me, I don't know about you, but I don't even feel any of it. It just feels slightly warm here. And then he basically covers Todoroki's hand, and the flames all extinguish all over Todoroki. And Todoroki can't really use his quirk because Deku is preventing him from using it by blowing out the flames before they can even do anything. And that's when Todoroki gives up. Next is Deku versus Bakugo. And Bakugo, he tells Deku that he's sorry, that he doesn't want to fight him, but it looks like he's got his own, this is the only choice. And he wants to see how far he has come. So he asks him to not use the overpowered stuff. And Deku replies with, alright. And quickly, he uses the force to stop the explosions, and does use a lot of hand-to-hand combat and fights him very easily, and doesn't use any of the force to hurt him or any way, and with a punch or anything. He uses his real strength. And I would say Bakugo is taking a huge beating here, because he can't use any of his explosions, and he tries to use a grappling attack, but it doesn't work. So Deku beats him with one last punch, and that's it. Deku wins. So, next is the internship. And that's going to be a fun one, because I need to find someone that can take in Deku. But Deku he gets a lot of internship requests, because they want to know how he ticks. They want to know how it works, the whole quirk. So anyways, I will catch you all later. Have a good day and a good night. I know I will. And peace out.